All right, it's safety check time. I'm going to run through quickly 10 things we do here at Newington to keep kids safe. All right, number one is if you see anything that makes you feel uncomfortable or uncertain about a kid's safety or well-being, or a way a volunteer is interacting with a kid, anything like that, please let Heather King know. You can text me, you can call me, you can email me, you can see me in person. We want to be on the lookout to make sure kids are being kept safe and there are no signs of abuse, whether it's physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, or signs of neglect. And so one of your first options is to come to Heather King so that she can make sure we are doing the right things to make sure that child is in a safe place. The next one is easy. All of our classroom doors have windows on them. So if you're decorating in any way in your classroom, please just make sure to leave the windows uncovered so we can see through. Next, children can only be released to the appropriate parent or guardian. We never dismiss kids here at Newington just by letting them run out of the classroom or out of VBS. So at the end of the day, we have some very specific safety pickup protocols at VBS where the parent's going to present you with a safety pickup card. It could be on their phone, it could be in their hand, but they're going to make sure that they are the right person to take that child home at the end of the day. Next is that everyone who works with minors here at Newington has to have a background check if you're 18 years or older, and also child protection training. And those are renewed every 3 years. So if you are coming close to needing a renewal, I'll reach out to you and let you know it's time to take the class again or do your background check. Our next policy is what I call the 2 volunteer policy here. We make sure that there's always 2 of us or more with a child or group of children at any given time when we're volunteering. Even if you are taking the child from place to place at VBS, one-on-one, you're gonna make sure you're always in a public place where anyone could walk by and see. If you are taking children to the bathroom, I'll talk about some of those policies in a moment, but we are very careful to make sure that we're not just one-on-one with a child at any moment. Now let's talk about safety in the bathrooms. We have a couple different things that need to fall under this category. The first is that whenever possible, we try to take them to the bathroom as a group so that we're not one-on-one in the bathrooms with any child. We find some great places at VBS to do this, whether it is at SNAC, where you're right near the multi-stall bathrooms. Another place where you'll find bathrooms with several stalls in it is near Missions. If you have a station where you have extra time, you can build that into your routine to take that as a bathroom break and send all the kids in, maybe 2 or 3 at a time, to use the restroom. If you have a child who needs to go to the bathroom outside of that time, it's important to remember that teens cannot be the ones who are taking the kids to the restroom. They have to be 18 years or older to do that. If you are a crew leader and you are a teenager, you're going to actually stay with the bigger group and send an adult crew leader who is with your group to the bathroom with that child. Every group has at least 1, if not 2, adult members in that leader group who can take the children to the bathroom. If there's any case where a child needs help in the actual stall, maybe with like overalls or to do a button or anything like that, one of the things we do is we keep the stall door open, and we often will have a volunteer step into the open area of the bathroom while you maybe help that child put their clothes together and get ready to rejoin their group at VBS. That gives you some protection and some observation to make sure you're not in there by yourself with the child. If they are at VBS, they should be old enough to take care of any of their bathroom needs, so you should not be entering any stalls and cleaning any children. If you are not serving at VBS, but maybe throughout the year you're serving in the nursery, we also have policies like these in place so that you always have 2 volunteers when a child is being diapered, for instance. This one is true mostly for our kids who are entering the school age, but it is something we try to do, which is to have preschool and up sit next to us and not on our lap. And we don't carry the kids at VBS around the building. All of our children should be 4 years old or at least have gone through preschool. So they're old enough to walk around the building on their own. They're old enough to sit on their own next to you. You can hold their hand. If they want to hug you, you can let them hug you. If they are really scared or really upset, it becomes a little bit different if they need to sit on your lap for a minute if they're younger. But hopefully all of our kids are at a place where they can sit next to us. This is totally different in our nursery where we have babies and we have toddlers and they need to sit with us and be hugged and rocked and things like that. All of our volunteers should be focused on the kids in your care. And that means we're not being distracted by our phones and we're not being distracted by the other leaders. Please make sure that the kids are your top focus and priority. If you're taking a picture with your phone of the kids doing activities, or if you're texting me and letting me know someone is hurt, that's totally fine. But scrolling on Instagram or texting with people about things not VBS related is something we don't want to be doing during this time. Also, we sometimes have teen volunteers who are sitting in the back of the room scrolling on their phones, not really being helpful. That is not okay with us. We need all of our volunteers to be helping at all times. So your phone should be away unless you're using it for something related to VBS. Taking a picture, texting for help, something like that. But otherwise, we're not on our phones during Vacation Bible School. And we are not talking to one another instead of with the kids. So please make sure that if you're in a leader's room, you are listening and you're helping, you are opening the crafts, you're showing them how to play the games, whatever it is that they need you to do, you're helping them to be attentive and listen in missions and in Bible adventure. So we really want to work on being helpful helpers here at VBS. This hasn't really happened at Vacation Bible School much, but I do want to mention that if a child ever runs out of a classroom or is an elopement risk, or if you have a child who is having a meltdown or has just become out of control, please immediately contact me. And when you are watching the child exit the classroom, you don't need to put hands on the child, but you do need to make sure you know where the child is and as best you can to block any external exits, because we don't want them getting out to 17. And last but not least, if the building is evacuated for anything like a fire alarm or any safety evacuation, we are going to file out of the building in the nearest exit, and we will meet near the dumpster and the clothes closet drop-off in the back parking lot. We're going to account for all the children in our care and wait for fire safety or the police or whoever it needs to be to tell us that the building is safe and we can re-enter. All right, you've completed our safety checkup. Thanks so much. We so appreciate you guys. And we know that it's also important to you to keep the children in our care safe because we love them and we know that God cares about their safety too.